Very proud today of our defensive intensity and just our focus throughout the game. What really cost us last game was about a 5-minute mental lapse where we didn't match up in transition. We didn't play with the same intensity that we started the game in Green Bay. You know, the first half, I couldn't have been more proud of the intensity and focus, and then we found out what great teams do. You know, they continue that for 40 minutes, and we didn't. We tried to play 30 minutes of a 40-minute game last game. This game, I really challenged our players to not pay attention to the name across the jersey, but treat every game like we were playing Green Bay, and to go after this with the intensity and focus that we wanted to achieve our goals. And that's the way we're going to play the rest of the season, is trying to keep our intensity and our focus. And couldn't have been more proud of the contributions that we got from the whole bench today. To see Riley McCormick come in and really get us going with some nice three-point shooting, to see Kyle Baumgartner come in and score 11 points in the first half, but really the unselfish play of our team. When somebody was open, we got him the ball, but we were more disciplined offensively and defensively today. It was great to see us force as many turnovers, 33 turnovers. Don't know the last time we were able to force that, but it was because we played more disciplined defensively than we have in the past few games.
How tough has it been for Brianna a little bit? I mean, coming here, transferring, and not necessarily getting the playing time and not necessarily fitting in right away with your system. Talk about her transition and sort of what you saw today from her that you liked.
Well, I think the tough thing for someone that transfers from a school where you didn't get a lot of playing time is you're essentially sitting out 2 years. Because you didn't play a whole lot, you know, at the school you're at, then you transfer, you sit out that year, and it takes a while to get the rust off. And I do think that she showed today signs of what we know she can do, and it's exciting, and I'm glad we had a game where we could sub freely and do that, because there are kids off our bench like Riley McCormick, like Brianna Jones, like Stephanie Recker that we need desperately going forward. But because of the caliber of opponents we played early on, it was difficult to go as deep as we wanted, and obviously the injury that we suffered, you know, we had to kind of get through that. But now, I'm so glad we had a game like we did today for that opportunity. You know, I thought Brianna really responded when she had her opportunity today, and that's the whole thing, answering the call.
Was there any indication or signs from the Green Bay game till now that you guys were going to come out like this and have the kind of first half and pretty much the entire game that you had? I mean, winning by almost 40.
Well, number one, it was fun to see us finally get into the 60s, 70s. I was there for a while. I was really worried about our offense. So, but a lot of that was sparked by our defense. You know, a lot of transition baskets today because we played great defense, and you can create those if you do play disciplined defense. But I think the one thing about playing tough opponents and either beating them or hanging with them is you start to get that sense of, you know what, we can do this. And I think what we've gained, even though we lost the last game, was the confidence that if we can play with a ranked opponent, then we can play with anybody. And that's what's we're going to carry forward. And you know, it could go either way if we let it. And I really had a long talk with him yesterday about that. Let's handle this loss the right way. Let's know that we did a lot of really good things, and then we watched a lot of film on the really bad things so that we could maybe make sure those don't happen again.
On the flip side of getting players into the game, you know, Courtney and Andola have been pushing the high 30s in minutes since Nama went out, so how important is it to allow them to sit for a while in a game like this?
Well, and with these two games being as close together as they were, and you and I both know how physical that last game was, to give kids a chance to rest a little bit, and also, you know, they know how hard those kids on the bench have been working in practice. You know, they're working just as hard to try to create opportunities for them so they can cheer them on, because it is hard watching kids who don't get to play cheer their tails off on the bench and not get those opportunities. So, you know, Courtney and Andola kind of relished in the bench role today once we had a good lead. But it's also nice to take care of them. You know, we don't want to be silly. If we've got a nice lead, knowing that we've only got one true point guard left, you know, why do we want to take a chance with a big lead of her getting hurt? So we wanted to rest her, we wanted to rest Courtney, and still give opportunities to the players who deserve them because they've been working their tail off.
Will you talk a little bit about your start offensively? I mean, you were making shots, and that obviously made things easy for you guys.
Yeah. You know, I think it's taken us a while to get in sync. And you know, that's going to happen when, obviously, you look at the assist that Nama had, and you take her out of the equation. Now you've got a lot of kids who are having to learn how to distribute the ball better. And we're getting there. We spent a lot of time on practice of creating opportunities, passing angles, timing, fakes. I mean, we've really gotten back to the basics, and it's paying off. Now we're getting, part of it is passing the ball at the right time, being ready, you know, and delivering it, but also just putting yourself in that position. And Nama made people look good, very good, even when she wasn't scoring, because she had such great timing. a lot of our teammates are learning how to do that now, and we definitely are benefiting from it. Every game we've gotten better and better.
How much did that big start offensively fuel the defense that you had for the entire first half?
It definitely did. I mean, anytime you're going to hit shots, it's going to give you confidence. But I think we also had high percentage shots because we were playing such good defense. The transition, even though we had to moan and groan through a few missed layups, we still created high percentage shots on the other end, uncontested threes, layups, opportunities to get to the foul line. And when you're doing that, you're putting yourself in a wonderful situation offensively. And then, we did execute. Just simple things that we didn't do last game. We executed, we listened, we paid attention to details, and that's why those shots were falling.
And also, even though the offense slowed down at the end of the first half, your kids came out in the second half and were a lot slicker just about every way offensively, weren't they?
I was very proud of them, and we spent a lot of time. Our players kind of meet and our staff meet separately at halftime before we come together, and I talked to Nam about make sure, there's about 2 or 3 things I want you to say while I'm in the other room. And it was, we can't let up, because I know every coach in America is not going to let their team have a half like that and not come out fired up. And I knew Cleveland State would come out fired up, and we had to answer that. So we couldn't rest on our laurels. And we also talk about, we want to go to the NCAA tournament, we want to go to postseason. Well, to do that, you have to play 40 minutes of basketball. And we had to show that we were disciplined enough to do it, regardless of the score, regardless of the opponent. And we did. Very, very proud of the intensity we showed today.
Anything else?